We're grateful for your time. Thank you very much for choosing GHOne TV. Let's straight away look at some of the top stories that we have for you tonight. Coming up in the next 60 minutes, farmers divided over government's decision to place a ban on the exportation of grains following the long periods of dry spells in the northern part of the country. Tonight, we'll get you some details.
Businessmen came in, buy them at any price that they want, store them, and later on, exported them through illegal borders.
Also coming up tonight, Health Ministry in trouble as some 30 pharmacists, doctors threaten to sue government over delays in the payment of their allowances for the past 12 months.
We demand the Ministry of Health immediately resolves the matter with the Ministry of Finance to initiate the release of funds owed to us without any further delay.
Join us talk politics tonight as opposition NDC flag bearer John Dramani Mahama takes on governing MPP flag bearer Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia over what he says was an attempt to divert attention from the launch of his manifesto. Tonight we'll bring you more politics.
The intention for doing that media encounter the next day after we had announced our manifesto was to turn the attentions of Ghanaians from the NDC manifesto.
We will bring you some updates from our world of business, and here we shall tell you the story of how traders at the Dambai braved the odds in carrying out their business. Yes, tonight we will be in Dambai. So we have these and many other interesting stories, including some sports updates, refreshing you with some entertainment news, all coming up tonight. Be our guest, stay with us as we share with you all these details and many more. My name is Kweku. Thank you very much for choosing GHOne TV. Let's take our very first story for the evening. And here, staff of Parliament were sent home today following a fire outbreak at the Job 600 office complex. Well, the fire, which took place at the floor housing Parliament's Archives Department, took firefighters more than 1 hour to douse. Parliamentary correspondent Ibrahim Alhassan, in a special report weeks ago, had thrown light on how ill-prepared the legislature is for any fire incidents. Let's take a listen to that report.
How long will it take for the sick fire tender to return here to be on standby to protect the lives of parliamentarians, workers of parliament, and everybody who comes to parliament? Should we experience another fire outbreak that's of a higher magnitude than what was witnessed in July 2017.
Okay. My quest for information about the lingering questions on my mind.
One has got to do with the fire engine that is missing completely in Parliament, and then also the entrance to Job 600, which is quite shorter than the average height of a turntable that is used by the National Fire Service. Well, when I went to the fire service post here in Parliament, the officers there, including the commander, directed me to the regional fire command. So on we go to the Greater Accra Regional Fire Command for answers. I wish me luck. Just behind me is the fire engine that services the Parliament of Ghana. And as you can see, the head is tilted, signaling that there is some works being done. Of course, as we were told earlier, this engine was faulty, and so we had to come for servicing. Of course, the head is tilted. This is at the Greater Accra Regional Fire Service Command, basically. So I'll engage the regional fire officer and then get to understand exactly what has been done. We can see that there's some work being done. Just tell us exactly what's happening.
The Parliament vehicle was brought in. We worked on it, it went, and other faults came up. So it was brought back. Our men have worked on it, but hearing an unusual sound, we preferred bringing in some specialized people who are specialized with the comms engine, just to help us identify what the issue is. The gentleman was working on the car. Then there was an emergency at Arcade Fire Station, and the towing car we had here had to go and perform a service. It came back with some defects. So looking at the issues, we will need this recovery track should any of our vehicles be faulty. So we ask that the specialist who is working on the Parliament car should please suspend. And I think he started with this other one 2 days ago. So once he finished with the recovery track, he's coming back to the Parliament appliance, because we want to get it done. Initially we felt we could even finish it by July ending. Yes, but because of this other one. And even as yesterday, the chief officer was on me to make sure that that vehicle goes. But because he's the same person to help us detect what that particular noise is, he's been able to detect, but now he has to go into the engine. But we pleaded with him to suspend this one, work on the recovery track, because we equally need it. Should we have any problem with our tanks, especially where you have water in it, it is difficult for us to get a car to tow it. So we have to ensure that our towing track is working, then we can come on this one.
Let's move and take a look at the recovery track, because indeed there are some individuals, technicians are working on the recovery track. But before we get there, you talk about the Kede incident. We told some of your men got involved, and then there were a few injuries recorded. Was there a casualty?
The chief officer went there, and we were told that they are not very okay. Once it's an accident, virtually a part of them would be affected, but they are receiving treatment. Yes.
So this is the recovery engine, the one that in a layman's language we say towing track.
Yes.
And so this is the one that the technicians are working on.
Yes.
Okay. One other incident, and that I gathered from Parliament, is that as we speak, if there is any fire incident within the job 600, and that's a 12-story building, the turntable, the 70-meter turntable, will not be able to access the inner perimeter of that office. This came up in 2017 when there was a fire incident. Years down the line, I'm told nothing has been done about it.
There is an entrance and there is an exit. It is the entrance that has an arc on it, but the exit has the top opened, so we can equally access it from that angle.
So you can use the exit as the entrance.
Well, definitely, if you are looking for that media house that can go into the story even ahead of it happening, then obviously you're talking about the EIB network. Ibrahim Al-Hassan carried out the story weeks ahead, and after his report, the inevitable has happened, forcing the staff of the lawmaking house to be sent home. Coordinator for Public Affairs for Parliament, Kate Addo, on her part, disclosed the timely evacuation of staff ensured no casualties were recorded today as parts of Parliament caught fire. Well, she announced that the workers had been asked by the Speaker to go home following the fire incident today.
We are aware that the workers were asked to vacate the building. What's the situation? Some of them are still loitering about. What's the directive?
The clerk to Parliament has instructed, in consultation with the Speaker of Parliament, that all members of staff should go home and return probably tomorrow or the day after, when the fire, at the moment we've been assured that the fire has been, put under control, but still it's been requested that all of us should go home and return at a later time. So that's what it is.
Was anybody hurt in the the process?
Not at all, not at all. Thankfully, everybody is safe. We caught it very timeously. And we have a fire station here, so I think that also came in very handy. And we're all safe and sound. And we thank everybody for the concern and the love, and the alacrity with which everybody responded is amazing. So yeah, we are very grateful.
Ketado, for you, Madam Ketado, we're grateful, and of course, Director of Engagement here in Parliament.
All right, so yes, there is a fire station there. Obviously, it was without a fire tender at the time the fire incident happened. Again, that's a big question. Was there a fire alarm? Why were the staff still up there? Some did not even get the information until the fire was doused. These are questions that we would want you to join us on our social media platforms so we peruse into detail. But for now, we'll close it up on this particular story, definitely to be open for further discussion. We're all set for Insight. Insight is proudly brought to you by Pepsodent. With Pepsodent, every smile matters.
Insight is brought to you by Pepsodent Herbal for strong teeth and gums and Pepsodent Charcoal for natural, whiter teeth.
All right, so let's bring you inside tonight and hear the dry spells being witnessed in the northern part of the country. It's threatening the country's food security, while the attendant effect of the drought has led to drastic measures from the government in a bid to address the looming food crisis. Well, during a press conference on Monday, Minister of Food and Agriculture, Brian Echampon, announced an immediate ban on the export of grains. Well, he explained that the ban was to ensure the availability of crops for domestic markets amid the challenging weather conditions.
The lack of rain over the past 2 months has severely impacted the planting season in many of the farming areas. Of the 8 regions, the northern region is the worst, with the upper east region being the least affected. Crops that were sown in anticipation of the rains have been left struggling without sufficient moisture. And there are fears of low yields and potential crop failures. These climatic conditions, as it rolls out more irrigation and water management schemes. The immediate interventions from now to January 2025. The following measures have been approved by government for implementation by the ministry to avert a food security crisis. With immediate effect, government is placing a ban on the export of grains, including maize, rice, soya bean, until the situation normalizes. This measure is essential to ensure the availability of these critical crops on the domestic market. Any farmer with stock and interested in selling should contact our district directorates across the country, our district aggregators, or the Directorate of Crops, Ministry of Agriculture. This is to ensure that farmers do not suffer adversely from this ban.
All right, so these were questions that we asked just when the news broke out. So if you're a farmer, you've been contracted by a company, grow these grains for me, they've provided you fertilizer, they've provided you money, what happens to you then? What's the stakeholder consultation? Well, tonight we want to get more answers as government's decision has generated mixed reaction with some farmers unhappy with the move. Well, Executive Director of the group, Charles Nyaba, believes the move may not yield the desired results.
Local producers never had the capacity to even buy 10% of what we produce. And because farmers were constrained, they were compelled to give it out at a giveaway prices. Businessmen came in, buy them at any price that they want, store them, and later on exported them through illegal borders and made so much money. So because farmers could not actually sell at a price that would keep them in business, majority of them didn't produce in 2023, so we have shortages in 2024. So with these lessons, we thought that government could have sat together with us to sit down and plan. We have fantastic proposal that we have given to government, which will lead to government actually stocking these commodities and keeping it for lane season distribution to consumers. Now, one thing we also need to understand is the fact that as we speak, Ghana don't have enough supply of these commodities. There is shortage of maize, there is shortage of soya beans, there is shortage of rice in the market. So we are actually not exporting anything. We rather import from Burkina Faso tomatoes, we import onions from Niger and Mali, we import livestock from Burkina, Niger and Mali. So once we do this and they have to retaliate, what will be the replicate effect on all of us? Peasant farmers are concerned because we are producers.
All right, so definitely you would want to find out what is happening on the ground now. Let's go live to the northern part of the country, specifically the Fiamabuzie Isa district, and touch base with some farmers there. Well, Lawi Bonzo Vincent is the district focal person of the Peasant Farmers Association. He joins us live. Vincent, how are you doing tonight? Let me find out from you. So how is this drought situation impacting on your crop yield in and around the northern part of the country?
Yeah, thank you very much, and good evening. Good evening to DGI, the Temeng district, all the farmers within the district. Yeah, in fact, this year drought is actually affected our members very badly. In fact, this year, people normally go to farmers and come back wailing. Some people, their BPs, as it stands now, some people are having doctors managing their BP. Because we get to the farm, return, you can't eat. So open a lot of things. You go to the farm, invest, you go and take loans, get to the farm, and all your crops, your produce for that season is gone. The loan, you don't know how to go and pay. Now, our people, what they are thinking now, how they are going to pay their money, their loans back with the interest. That is the problem now.
All right, Bonzo Vincent, I want you to describe the drought situation. Let my viewers understand. Yes, we want to get a clearer picture that, look, it started from this time to this time. We've not seen water in and around, so all the produce are dry. Can you give me a picture so somebody watching tonight can get a clearer understanding?
Yeah, from the period of the whole of May, there's no rain. June, no rain. It is from early 5th up at May that it rains. And then June, early June, it rains again. And that just ends it. From that one, from 8th June, coming to July, the whole of July, there's no rain. There are some areas, it's rain, that's the rain. It's rain in some area around June. Other places, 2 months, 3.5 months, there's no rain. So when you visit the farm and they even strike a light, matches light on it, the whole grasses, it will dry, it will burn up. The crops that you either maize or groundnut, any other thing that you planted, if you set the fire on it, it will get burned. The entire place was dry. 2.5 months, 2.5 months, there's no rain. You plow, there's no rain to plant. That's how they say the bad it is for DBI.
All right. So you clearly, you are a player with the peasant farmers, so you have an understanding of the farmers in the area. How many farmers do you think have been affected by this drought we are talking about when you look at the communities and the areas?
Yeah, for when it comes to our communities, our main thing is farming. The entire community within the DBI per se, they are all into farming. If you are talking about it, there are almost over 3,000 farmers. That's our membership. That's PFAC, those who are registered members of PFAC. That's what I'm talking about. That's about 800 farmers of our registered members for PFAC, Peasant Farmers Association. It's gone. And then beyond that, everybody in the community, they are all into farming. Beside this drought, it's affected entire everybody.
this picture is definitely defeating and it's problematic. I mean, everybody in the community is one way or the other a farmer. But let's say you sent some early signals. Some weeks ago, you sent an SOS message for urgent governmental attention, and the government has responded and banned the export of grains. Are you satisfied with the response so far? Is the way forward to ban the export of grains so that we make sure the little we have would be used by us as a nation?
Yeah, so it's good. It's good, but what my problem is the quick response, banding. As they were to say, they are banded. So what are the consultations that they have done, so that we are dealing with other countries, so that they will also retaliate. Because we are still importing other things, so that tomatoes and other things from other neighbor countries. So what are the consultations that they have done? Yeah, it's good. It's good, but they need to do consultations before they can do, so that it will not affect us badly with this one. What do you think that it's a step in the right direction? Yes.
So I'd also want to find out, I mean, the government has earmarked some 8 billion Ghana cedis to be used to mitigate this looming crisis. Does this put a smile on your face as a peasant farmer? Does this put a smile on the people in the community who have lost it all, even as they tried to go into farming but have lost heavily?
Yeah, it's a smile. It's a smile on the paper. It's a smile on the paper. In Ghana, we only speak Borfo, but the actual implementation is not working. You bring small, very good policies, but the implementation is problematic. So they can mention this by the only mention figure to that.
So Vincent, you are saying the 8 million is just a smile on the paper. Realistically, the farmers in the northern part or the farmers who are affected would not smile?
That is our fear. That is our fear. If only what they mention on the paper will get to the people. So there will be some small relief for us, for the farmers. If we get the right people, because this one, it will move up to end up at the wrong hand. That is our fear. For now, we, the farmers, they don't regard that. That's our fear for now. We have seen it. We have seen it with the PFJ2. That's what they have done. The PFJ2 was to become embarrassing that. But what we are seeing is not as the way they talk. That is why I'm saying that this one is a good thing, but in the paper.
It's a good thing, but it's on the paper. Well, within the coming days, GHOne TV will follow up and ensure that probably these funds allocated get to the right persons, those who are grains that would be bought amongst others. Well, that's about it for Insight for tonight. It was proudly brought to you by Pepsodent. With Pepsodent, every smile matters. We're back shortly with some more local stories. To stay with us. We'll be back soon. All right, so we're grateful that you kept faith with us. If you're just coming through, this is News Tonight. My name is Kweku. Let's talk health at this moment, and over 300 Farmer D House officers are on the verge of taking legal action against the Ministry of Health due to its failure in securing financial assistance for their 12th month allowance. We're speaking to GHOne TV on the sidelines of a press conference. One of the conveners, Jeremiah Owusu-Efrifa, said their delay in the disbursement of their allowance has afflicted severe hardship on their members who have been left without the financial support due them. Well, the group is urgently appealing to the ministry to immediately disburse the funds immediately, warning that they will proceed with the legal action if the issue is not resolved promptly.
We are talking about young professionals who have dedicated their lives to the health and well-being of others, now being pushed to the brink of despair. How are we to care for the health of our patients when we are struggling to maintain our own well-being? We stand united in demanding the immediate action from the Ministry of Health and all the relevant stakeholders. These are our demands. One, we demand the immediate disbursement of all our standing allowances that is due us. The pursuit of our financial clearance for almost 2 years has been long overdue. We demand the Ministry of Health immediately resolves the matter with the Ministry of Finance to initiate the release of funds owed to us without any further delay. We have fulfilled our duties and we have earned this compensation. 2. Implementation of a strategic measures to prevent future delays. On the back of similar incident with our immediate predecessors, we least expected that we would have to visit this unfortunate chapter again. For worse of all, in our case, we call on the relevant authorities to establish a transparent and efficient system that ensures timely disbursement of allowances for future cohorts of the FAMD House officers. We are ever ready to offer our support if called upon. We are here today not just for ourselves, but for every parent who believes in the promise of a better future for their child, for every student who dreams of becoming a healthcare professional, and for every citizen who relies on a functioning and compassionate healthcare system. We did not become FAMD House officers to get rich. We became FAMD House officers to serve. But we cannot serve effectively when we are burdened with the financial strain and emotional distress. We ask that authorities to see our plight, recognize our sacrifices, and do what is right.
Well, tonight you can join us on our social media platforms on the plight of these PharmD students. I'm told they are pharmacists who have studied as doctors. Well, we are talking about politics shortly. Of course, EIB Network is your election hub. Let's go into politics shortly. Well, in politics tonight, the opposition NDC flag bearer John Dramani Mahama has accused the governing MPP of attempting to divert attention from the launch of his manifesto with the recently held media encounter of Dr. Mahmoudou Bawumia. Well, according to him, the decision to hold the encounter a day after the NDC manifesto launch is to ensure the public does not pay attention to the policies of the opposition. Mahama, who began his campaign tour of the Greater Accra region, told party supporters of the NDC that the plan of the MPP, however, backfired.
When you do something with a devious intention, it backfires on you. We announced that we are going to launch our manifesto on the 24th of August. Immediately, our opponents announced that they were going to do a media encounter on the 25th of August, the very next day. You know, the intention for doing that media encounter the next day after we had announced our manifesto was to turn the attentions of Ghanaian from the NDC manifesto. That was the main reason that they decided to do a media encounter the very next day after we launched our manifesto. But you see, when you do something with devious intention, it backfires on you. When you do something with devious intention, it backfires on you. You know how to tell when somebody is lying. If there are people who are smooth talkers, who can speak rat-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta like machine gun, the time when they become stammerers and they start stammering, you know they are lying. Somebody who can speak ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta like AK-47, suddenly media encounter, I think, Ezu ni money ji money here is etolene yawo. Ezu, the person started stammering, and you can't tell the head or tail. The fundamentals are weak, and then he went logoligi, 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 logoligi. And so you must do things with truthful intention. And the basic principle of leadership is truth and honesty. If you want to be a good leader, you must be truthful and honest to your people.
All right, so the former president sent a message to the members of the governing MPP to prepare for accountability in the event he wins the elections. Well, he asked them to stay in the country upon losing the December elections, just as he did when he lost in the 2016, so that they can be quizzed.
If people decide to serve in public office, they must accept to be accountable to the people of Ghana. And so if we elect you to go and serve us in a public office, after you finish service, you must be ready to account for everything that you did in office. I finished as president. I stayed here in this country, and I announced that I am prepared to be accountable to the people. I should be investigated for anything that I have done while in office. And I stayed here, and I have been accountable to the people. I hope that those who are going out of office, the MPP government, when they go out, they should stay in the country. Nobody should run away. They should stay in the country and account to the people of Ghana.
All right, we'll continually affirm our stance as being your election hub. Definitely, if it's politics, then you should find out GHOne TV or the EIB network in general is there to make sure that we bring you the story. My colleague Abdul Hanan Adam is touring with John Dramani Mahama, and he joins us with more on his campaign tour. Well, Hanan, thank you for your time tonight. Where is the team now, and what more has Mahama been saying?
Well, Kweku, the team is in the Ashaman constituency, where the former president, like you rightly mentioned, is touring some constituencies in the Greater Accra region as part of his Reset in Ghana campaign tour. Well, we visited, first of all, the Adar constituency, where there is a number of concerns, including the issues surrounding the salt mining at the Adar Songo Lagoon, where there's currently a tussle between the Electrochem Ghana Limited and residents of the area. He assured them that when the next NDC government is voted into office in the December 7 general elections, he would ensure that that particular misunderstanding between residents and the business owner is resolved, so that people of the area who depend on that particular mineral resource for their livelihood would also get something that would feed their families. And then we proceeded to the Sege constituency, where again he promised that the sea defense project, which he started while in office and currently abandoned by the Akufo-Addo-led government, would be completed to ensure that residents within that particular enclave will be protected against any form of flooding issue or damages that may befall on them in that particular area. Then we proceeded to the Ashaman constituency, which can boast of a lot of economic activities or has a lot of economic potential, but unfortunately they are bedeviled with a lot of challenges, which includes lack of potable water, and the road infrastructure there is not the best. And we know that residents in the area over the years have demonstrated, sent several petitions to government, and these concerns have not been addressed. And so the former president, who listened to some of these concerns, says that job opportunities will be created because the NDC is part of the NDC's agenda is job creation, and of course they will prioritize job creation for Ghanaians, especially for the Temeng youth of Ashaman. He once again reiterated that Okada will be legalized but regulated to ensure that the issues that some of these riders face with the law enforcement agencies is, brought to a finality, and ensure that the DVLA will be, aligned with this particular policy to ensure that whenever they go there to regularize their documents, they don't
My colleague is traveling with the former president. I'm sure he will be bringing us more updates in our subsequent bulletin. What I'll do for your election hub tonight, we're coming back with some updates from our world of business. All right, so if you have your Ghana card, then definitely Bill's Microcredit is saying that you qualify for a loan. Why wait? Just get to Bill's Microcredit and get that loan you urgently need. Let's talk business tonight as the bustling market in Ghana's southern cities and towns brim with fresh produce that nourishes the nation. These goods cultivated in remote areas arrive at our doorsteps due to the relentless efforts of traders who bridge the gaps between farms and urban markets. But have you ever considered the sacrifices and challenges these traders endure to make this possible? My colleague Peter Kwawa Dato takes you behind the scenes, spending a night at the Dambai market in the following report. Well, you definitely have to forgive me. I'll be bringing you the Dambai story in just a short while. But before then, let's talk energy at this moment as the Minister of Finance and Economic Planning, Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam, has revealed that Ghana has generated some $10.6 billion in revenue since the commencement of crude oil exploration. Well, although this figure represents barely 1% of the country's total annual gross domestic product, that's the GDP, Dr. Adam notes that there is still significant potential in the sector for Ghana to explore. Well, he made these revelations at the ongoing Future of Energy conference here in Accra.
The Future of Energy conference aims to harness experts' ideas to formulate a blueprint that will inform policy decisions towards achieving the net zero global agenda by 2050. Dr. Adam, who delivered the keynote address, disclosed Ghana's total revenue from crude oil exploration to date.
In Ghana, for example, since crude oil discovery in commercial quantities in 2007, and the subsequent production commencing in 2010, we have so far distributed crude oil revenues of approximately $10.6 billion as of today to the allowable designated accounts provided for in the Petroleum Revenue Management Act.
Dr. Adam also lamented the unfavorable international financial landscape towards Africa regarding external credits, citing high interest rates.
Africa has capacity to borrow to finance our development, but we borrow at substantially higher interest, which in some cases triples the rate of borrowing in the developed world. In addition to this, the economic metrics used to determine our creditworthiness is not really reflecting the situation in Africa.
The three-day event, attended by energy experts, civil society organizations, political leaders, and others, is themed Harnessing Africa's Resource Wealth, Fueling Innovation for Equitable Energy Access.
All right, so that's about it for business for tonight, but we're not done yet. When we come back, we have the latest from our world of sports with Monica Bukri. Well, elegant Monica Bukri has joined us tonight. She has the latest from our world of sports. Good evening, Monica.
Hello, good evening, Kweku. It's been a while.
Absolutely, and you're welcome back from Paris.
Thank you so very much. Well, Kweku, this afternoon, the GFA held its ordinary congress in Pram, and the president, Kweku, has outlined some strategies to help the sports developments in the country. We'll also touch on the NDC manifesto on sports. So do stay. I'll bring you details of all this after this breather. President of the Ghana Football Association, Kweku, has appealed to government to give the association a yearly seed funding to help them implement its football strategies. Kweku, who was speaking at the GFA's 30th Ordinary Congress held at the Ghana Soccer Center of Excellence in Pram today, also emphasized the importance of youth development, refereeing, and coach education.
Government to provide the GFA with seed funding per year to help us implement our women and men's football strategy, especially at the grassroots level. The establishment of dedicated funding for sports and football has always been a topic. Indeed, it is something I know is dear to the heart of our sector minister. But it has come even much clearer that without dedicated source of funding for football, our industry will struggle.
Now, away from that, the National Democratic Congress parliamentary candidates for the Kweku Youth Constituency, North Constituency, Edem Agbana, has shed more light on ex-President John Dramani Maham's outlined program presented in his manifesto. Speaking to GHOne Sports, Agbana indicated that its government will create avenues for ex-sportsmen and women to empower them to engage in sports-related activities after retirement.
We want to ensure that retired players or sportsmen and women are supported to develop another career within the sports-related activities. For example, as we speak today, there are some ex-footballers. Some even have been players who played for the national team, who today are on social media begging. Sometimes they have to raise funds for them before they can afford 3 square meals a day. It is sad. It is because sports is such a career that you do it within a very short period of your life. And by the time you are aging, you are not fit enough to engage and still be earning. And so many ex-sportsmen and women are struggling. What can we do? There are other careers. People can be supported to become coaches. Today, if you go to even the English Premier League, most of the top coaches are former footballers. Even in Ghana, a few of them who got the support and they started learning to be coaches, the likes of Laye, Kingston, and Co. Today, they are all coaches. You get it? Very key. So government will support sportsmen and women to learn or to embark on other careers that are sports-related so that after their years of sacrifice and service to this country, they can still have another means of generating some income or livelihood, and it's very important.
And that will be it here on Sports Brief. My name is Monica Bukari. Back to you, Kweku.
All right, Monica, thank you so much. You will be joining us in our subsequent bulletin. But that's about it for tonight. To you out there, I'd really want to